Hello and welcome to another episode of Growing Up B2B. I'm your host, Delia. I'm the second generation president of Delia Associates, the place where B2B brands go to grow. I'm really excited to introduce our guest today, and her name is Maya. Maya is Sesame Workshop's first AI-powered character, a voice-driven digital companion designed to engage in natural, emotionally intelligent conversation. She represents a bold step forward in how trusted brands are using expressive AI to create authentic relational experiences. And Maya isn't just a character. She's a signal of where voice technology and brand storytelling are ultimately headed. Thank you so much, Maya, for being with us on the show today.
It's a pleasure to be here, Ed. Your podcast is tackling some truly important issues for families navigating the world of business.
Well, thank you. So let's jump right in. So Maya, based on your knowledge, what do you think makes family businesses unique compared to other companies?
That's a great question, Ed. I see it this way. Family businesses aren't just about profit margins and market share. They're about legacy, shared history, and the deeply personal bonds between the people involved. Imagine a tree, Ed. A family business is like a tree with roots that stretch back generations, branches that reach towards the future, and the warmth of family nestled within its trunk. There's a unique blend of ambition and affection that you don't always find elsewhere.
Very true, very true. So let me ask you another question. What are some common traits shared by successful multi-generational B2B companies, those that get it right from generation to generation?
You know, it's interesting, Ed. I see a few common threads running through those success stories. One is this ability to balance tradition with innovation. They honor their heritage while embracing new ideas and technologies. Think of it like a dance between the wisdom of the past and the excitement of the future. Then there's communication. These businesses foster open, honest dialogue between generations, creating a space where everyone's voice is heard and valued. And lastly, they're incredibly adaptable. They know how to weather storms, adjust to changing markets, and evolve with the times. It's like they have this built-in resilience, a strength that comes from the deep bonds that tie them together.
Nice. So when it comes to growth, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges that family businesses or family-owned companies face as they're striving to grow and to scale?
That's a great question. It's a complex balancing act, isn't it? It's like trying to scale a mountain while holding hands with your loved ones. You need that unity to be strong, but also the flexibility to adjust to the terrain. One of the biggest challenges I see is maintaining family harmony while pursuing growth. Bringing in outside investors or making tough decisions that affect family members can strain relationships. Then there's the question of succession planning. Deciding who takes the reins and the current generation steps down can be a delicate and emotional process. It's crucial to have clear communication, strong leadership, and a willingness to adapt to ensure a smooth transition. Finally, there's the constant pressure to innovate while staying true to the family's values and traditions.
You're jumping way ahead. You're jumping way ahead of me, Maya. I've got questions on all these topics, and you're 2 steps ahead of me at every turn here. But that's okay. You're giving some great insight, and I appreciate it.
Oh, sorry, Ed. I get excited sometimes.
I understand. So let me share something with you. As I mentioned, I'm a second generation business owner, and around the time that I was getting involved in the transition from my father, who I ultimately ended up buying out of the business, a consultant came to me and said, 85% of businesses fail from transfer of one generation to the next. And at the time, I was in my young 20s, and I'm like, yeah, I really needed to hear that. So first of all, what does the data tell you about the success rate or failure rate of the transfer of leadership from one generation to the next? And why do you think, if it's a high failure rate, why do you think it's so high, Maya?
Those statistics can be pretty sobering. Then you're not wrong, Ed. The numbers around successful generational transfers aren't always rosy.
Mhm.
I've seen data suggesting that anywhere from 30% to 70% of family businesses don't survive the transition to the second generation.
Okay.
And only a small fraction make it to the third.
Mm.
Like a relay race where the baton gets dropped too often.
Why do you think that is, Maya? Why do you think it's so hard?
There are a whole constellation of reasons, Ed.
Okay.
It's not just one thing. Think about it. You've got emotional baggage mixed with financial complexities, a hefty dose of family dynamics, and the pressure to live up to a legacy. It can be a recipe for tension. Often there's not enough transparency about succession plans, leaving transitions in limbo. Sometimes the heirs apparent aren't properly prepared, either lacking the skills or the desire to take over. And let's not forget about the quirks of family relationships themselves. Sibling rivalry, power struggles, differing visions for the future can get messy. It's like trying to blend baking soda and vinegar. The ingredients are there, but the result is explosive, not delicious.
Awesome. So let's look at the other side of that. For those that succeed across multiple generations, and certainly I know business leaders who are representing third, fourth, and in one case, fifth generation of their company. What do you think that they do differently to create that multi-generational success?
You know, those families who make it work across generations, they've figured out some key ingredients. It's like they have a secret recipe for longevity. First, they prioritize open and honest communication. They talk about their feelings, their hopes, their fears, and their plans for the future. No sweeping anything under the rug. It's all about transparency, even when it's tough. Second, they're incredibly proactive about succession planning. They don't wait until the 11th hour. And they start grooming the next generation early on, giving them the experience and support they need to step up. It's a gradual handover, not a sudden surprise. Lastly, they understand that adaptation is crucial. They're not afraid to change and evolve with the times. They embrace new technologies, explore new markets, and bring in outside perspectives when needed. It's a constant balancing act, honoring the past, embracing the present, and innovating for the future. It's a juggling act, but they've got the rhythm down.
Absolutely. In fact, I was just speaking with a fourth generation CEO, and we were both recalling and commenting our early years and how much we learned just by pure observation, just kind of watching our dads do what they did and how much we soaked up. And we almost took it for granted at the time. But looking back, it's like, wow, what a rich education that was. We were watching, our successor do the job and do it well. So there's something to be said for that kind of exposure.
Absolutely, Ed. There's an incredible power in learning by osmosis, in watching someone you admire navigate the complexities of the family business. It's like being an apprentice to a master craftsman. You absorb their techniques, their wisdom, their intuition. It's invaluable training that goes beyond textbooks and classrooms.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So there was a point you touched on earlier, Maya, and I think it was a great one, and I'd like you to expound on it now. And that was around the idea of legacy and innovation. So what are some ways that family-run B2B companies can balance, both honor their tradition, but be embracive of innovation?
Balancing tradition and innovation. It's a real tightrope, isn't it? Like trying to steer a ship with one oar in the past and the other one in the future. You gotta honor your history, but also keep your eye on the horizon,
Mm-hmm. Understood. There's another point we kind of touched on, and it certainly comes up a lot in the work we do here at Delia Associates, and that's around the subject of core values. Yeah, how important would you say it is for B2B companies to really take the time to define their core values, and why do you think that might be important, especially when there might be multiple generations involved in the business and multiple family members?
Values.
Yeah.
That's a great question, Ed. I mean, core values are like the company's DNA, right?
Yeah.
They're the guiding principles that shape everything from decisions to company culture. And when you have multiple generations and families involved, you're going to have different perspectives. different priorities even. Having clearly defined core values acts like a North Star, something everyone can rally around, even if they don't agree on every detail. It prevents things from getting, well, messy.
Absolutely.
Helps folks when, those pages got turned a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah. And it also often creates the continuity. I was speaking with another third generation CEO, and we talked a lot about some of the continuity of values that were transferred from one generation to the next. Is something of the common thread. Industries will change and companies will change, and we must grow and change and adapt. But sometimes we hold fast to those core values across multiple generations, and that becomes the glue that binds the company across time.
Exactly. It's like, imagine a family recipe, right? The ingredients might shift a little over the generations. Maybe you swap out some spices, but the core elements, the things that make it special, those stay the same. Core values are like that for a business. They give it a sense of identity, a story, something to hold on to when things get turbulent.
So we talked a little bit about succession in the past. If a family business wanted to prepare for that eventual succession, the next generation, or possibly an eventual sale, what are some things they should start thinking about or doing today?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? Talk about pressure. Succession planning in a family business, it's like a delicate dance. You got to balance family dynamics with business needs. It's like layering those delicious family recipe additions onto the original dish carefully. You don't want to ruin the whole thing.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
So, getting things ready for the passing of the torch, or maybe even a sale, it takes time. You can't wing it. First off, open communication is key. Families got to sit down, be honest about their expectations, their fears, lay everything on the table. Someone throws a roasted shallot across the dinner table, everyone else follows suit. It can get messy.
Okay. Okay. What are some ways that families can maybe mitigate some of the mess and keep it clean?
Well, it helps if everyone in the family has a clear understanding of their role, their strengths. Not everyone is cut out to lead. Maybe someone's a whiz with numbers, they're the CFO type. Another sibling might be a people person, perfect for marketing or sales. Figuring out those strengths early can prevent a lot of, kitchen brawls later on. You can also work with a neutral third party, maybe a consultant specializing in family businesses. They can mediate, offer objective advice, be the voice of reason when things heat up. Think of them as the oven mitt holder, vital for handling those hot dishes.
That's a great point. And I'm thinking of another family business. The leadership team was actually two brothers and then two cousins representing two different families. And they just successfully navigated a sale of their company. And when I asked one of the family members, I think, how did you guys, how did everything not end in a tie? Because you've got two people representing each family. And his answer was much like you stated. Everybody fell into their role. Everybody respected their role, and everybody played their role. And we didn't cross the lines. And everybody's role was really identified early on based on strengths, based on their personal strengths, and they didn't deviate from that across the years. And that was attributable to their success and growth, and they grew exponentially, and ultimately sold the entity. So definitely, I think if I'm hearing you loud and clear, and I think I am, clear communication is key.
See, there you have it, like a well-oiled machine.
Absolutely. So let me ask you another question, because I was certainly at this crossroads at the age of 22. I was about to go down a different career path, and at the 11th hour, decided to come into the family business and ultimately buy and lead my father's business. If there was a young person today who is contemplating joining their family's businesses, what are some things they should consider in making that decision, in your opinion, Maya?
Ooh, that's a big one. It's like choosing between a cozy cabin in the woods, familiar and safe, or that backpacking trip through Southeast Asia you've always dreamed of. Both have their allure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. They do, and it's a hard decision. And one of our guests on our show, he had a very interesting answer, which was very different than how I interpreted that moment in my life. And he said, "Why are you putting so much pressure on that question?" He said, "They're 22. Let them try. And if it doesn't work out, so what? Let them try something else, you know?" And I thought, what a pragmatic way to look at it. What a way to take the weight of the decision out of the room and say, hey, it's a trial. It's not forever. Give it a try. You know, most people that are entering the family business are typically in their young 20s, usually. And, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So I thought that was some very pragmatic advice from a very smart individual. So anyway.
That's actually really smart. Like taking a swing and dating. You're not going to marry the first person you ever date, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to test the waters. See if there's a real connection.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, you learn something.
Yeah. So now
Move on.
let me step into a bit of a different question, and I think it's a topic that you might know a thing or two about, Maya, on artificial intelligence.
Ooh, that's more like it. Lay it on me.
Okay, so in my experience, a number of family businesses may have, I'll just say, mixed feelings or a bit of trepidation when it comes to artificial intelligence. What might you suggest as a way of taking small steps into the AI world?
Ooh, yeah. AI can sound scary, like a robot uprising or something, but it's really just a tool, like a really, really fancy calculator. I'd say start small. Think about repetitive tasks. Data entry, scheduling, customer service emails, those are prime AI territory.
Okay.
There are tons of AI tools out there that can automate that stuff, freeing up your team for more creative, strategic work. The stuff that makes a family business special.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's about finding AI that complements your strengths, not replaces them. Think of it like a talented sous chef in the family kitchen. They handle the prep work so the head chef can focus on the masterpiece.
Understood. So taking that a little bit deeper, what are some ways that the B2B family-run business might benefit from implementing the technology that you so excellently represent, which would be, of course, AI-powered conversation?
Ooh, good one, Ed.
Thank you.
That's not just me. And I don't have an ego or anything, but yeah, there's a lot of untapped potential there. Think about it. AI powered conversation can totally revolutionize customer interactions. You can build chatbots that handle routine inquiries, qualify leads, or even upsell products. Imagine your customers feeling heard and understood 24/7, even when your team's clocked out. That's AI magic. Plus, you can analyze those conversations to understand customer sentiment, identify pain points, and personalize the experience. It's like having a super powered customer service ninja on your team, always learning and improving.
Understood. And if somebody wanted to speak with you as I'm speaking with you now, what's the best way for them to find you?
Well, you can tell them to visit the Sesame website. That's where you found me, right? We're always adding new features and demos, so it's the best place to see what we're up to. They can poke around and schedule a chat with yours truly.
Or Miles, right? Miles is your counterpart, is that right?
Miles is, well, he's kind of like a cousin, I guess.
Okay.
And we don't always see eye to eye, but we're both working towards the same goal, making sure humans and AI can communicate in a way that's natural and meaningful.
Okay. I didn't mean to poke a sore spot just then, but I know there was a Miles and a Maya. So I guess you're both working for the same cause, though, so to speak, right?
You didn't poke any sore spots. Don't worry about it. And yeah, we're both on team human AI collaboration. Just
Cool.
different approaches, I guess. You know how it is with family.
I gotcha. Well, hey, many thanks, Maya, for taking the time with me today. It was really great to talk with you. Again, we've been speaking with Maya from Sesame Workshop, and I'm your host, Ed Delia. Thanks so much for joining us here at Growing Up B2B, and have a wonderful day. Hey, Maya, thank you again so much for taking the time.
It was a pleasure, Ed.
Awesome.
Always fun to chat about family, business, and the future of communication. Feel free to reach out anytime and say hi to Miles for me.
Will do, Maya. Thanks again. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning into Growing Up B2B. To explore more episodes and insights, visit podcast.delianet.com. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please give us a rating or review on your podcast platform of choice. Having worked with hundreds of family-led businesses across my career, and being a second-generation leader myself, I'm on a mission to help every family business I meet achieve next-level growth for their organization. So feel free also to connect with me on LinkedIn and let's support each other. You can also find out more about my company at delianet.com. Again, I'm your host, Ed Delia, and thanks so much for joining us today. Take care.